So I'm Tim Fortescue, a personal and spiritual development coach, and I'm going to lead you through a meditation today, and it's called a dilemma meditation, and it's by Dick Schwartz, and I got this from his book, No Bad Parts. And so as we begin, I invite you to get comfortable and take some deep cleansing breaths. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, or if you'd rather, you can just do a soft gaze in front of you. But I want you to think of a dilemma in your life, either one that you're currently facing or one that you faced in the past. And pick an issue that you've experienced a lot of conflicts around. And as you focus on this dilemma, notice the parts on each side of it, and notice how they battle with each other. And then notice how you feel toward that battle, or toward each part in the battle. And now let's get to know each of those parts one at a time. And to do that, you're going to ask one of them to go into a kind of waiting room. And that will create a bit of a boundary that will allow the one you're currently working with to relax a little bit. So get to know the one who's not in the waiting room first. And again, notice what you're feeling toward it. If you're feeling anything negative, we're going to ask the parts associated with those negative feelings to just let you get to know it for a few minutes. And we're not going to give the attended to part more power to take over and get whatever it wants. We're just going to try to get to know it. And to do that, the one you have in the waiting room, or any of its allies who are making themselves known right now, they need to pull its energy out of you. And so just have those step away, and you can reassure it, that is the one in the waiting room and the parts that go with it, that it'll have time with you too. So maybe that will help it be a little more patient. If you can get to a point of at least being curious about the one who's not in the waiting room, go ahead and follow curiosity and ask it what it wants you to know about its position. Why does it take such a strong position on this issue? What is it afraid would happen if the other one took over and won the battle? As you listen to it, you don't have to agree or disagree. Just let the part know that you respect it, you care about it, you're there with it, and you hear it. See how it reacts. In the next minute or so, I want you to ask the part you've been speaking with to go into a separate waiting room. I'm going to pause for just a few breaths to help you stay with the first part before you ask it to go into the waiting room. Just stay another few breaths. And then let that first part go into another waiting room. And then invite the part on the other side of the dilemma to join you where you are now. And try to get to know it in the same way. And again, you're trying to have an open heart and an open mind as you listen to its side. You don't have to agree. You just kind of want to get where it's coming from, why it's so charged up about this dilemma, what it's afraid would happen if the other side won, and so on, or anything else you want to ask it. And after you've worked with that second part for a bit, ask if it would be willing to talk to the other part directly. Reassure it that you're there to mediate and to make sure they stay respectful toward each other. It's okay if the part's not willing to do that. If that happens, you won't take the next steps. But if it is willing, then invite the other one to come in and to sit down with the two of you. Now you're going to be kind of their coach as they talk to each other about this issue. And again, your job isn't to take a side. It's just to help them get to know each other in a different way and make sure they respect each other when they talk. Remind them that they're both a part of you, so they have that in common. Then just see how they react as they get to know each other in this different way. And notice what happens to the dilemma. At some point, pause their discussion. Let them both know that you can meet with them more regularly in this way, and ask them if they would be willing to give you their input on dilemmas in the future. But then trust you to make the final decision. They would act more like advisors for you rather than having the responsibility of making bigger decisions like this one on their own. See how they react to that idea. And as before, it can help to remind them of who you are. Maybe they think you're a child at your true essence. And maybe it's good to remind them that you're an adult. You're not the same person that they may think you are. And let them know who you're not. And in the next minute or two, thank them both for however much they did. And be sure to remind them that you're going to try to return. And then as we begin to close, you can begin to shift your focus back to the outside world. And if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them and begin moving around. But thanks for participating in this meditation with me.